I welcome you all to our today's discussion, and in our discussion I intend to talk about a book called Things Fall Apart. Now, just from the title itself, you may tell that something is happening, and from my perspective of what this book is all about, there are so many things that which have taken place in it that which makes it be called Things Fall Apart. And my approach towards this book today is not based on the classroom context, but I've just taken it as a little book that we must just understand from the lesson point of view, because it has so many social riches that which we must delve into and get some of them for the possibility of our own lessons. The book Things Fall Apart introduces us to the protagonist, Okonko. Now, Okonko, who is the son of Unoka, and in chapter 1 of the text, we see that the whole text has struggled not to talk about who Unoka was, the father to Okonko. And this is a man who Okonko has built himself of his life and begins to view his successes based on what the father has achieved and that which he has failed to achieve. In every possible ways, we are introduced to Unoka as a man who failed to achieve any success in his life. And so Okonko also has set the father as a parameter from which he must begin to see many of the achievements that which he wants to see. And so Okonko, he has made it a point that he should never in any way become like the father, because the father has failed to achieve any success in life. And so we hear, as we read the text, that Okonko begins to review the life of the father, and what we see and understand is that Unoka was a man of wisdom, yes, but yet he was a failure in his life because he failed even to raise a barn, and those are the things that which someone was counted in society. And also Unoka was a man of many debts. He knew how to triventhic through society and get a number of debts from people. At one point, people had decided that they will never give him any money in terms of lending him, because they knew that it was very difficult to retain the monies. And so even though society had thought of that, but it is well known that he always found a way of how to get the money when he needed it. And he owed individuals starting from substantial amounts to the smallest clothes in his life. We see also that Unoka was a man of pleasure. He loved to drink out himself and get on to functions, dance and play flute, and also loved moments where he could not be sad, and that's what he lived like. And at one time when you read the text, you hear that Unoka went to a medicine man to go and find out as to what made him experience much a disaster in his life in terms of agriculture. And for the first time in my entire life, in the reading of books and also the hearing of real social context, where I find a medicine man who tells the truth, and he told Unoka, he says, your friends, they go across 7 rivers, but yet yourself you just go behind the house and you think of cultivating. Okay? Your hoe and the machete are too weak. So, we see that Okonko, in his establishment as a man, he told himself that he was never going to be like the father. So he did all what he could to make himself a successive young man. And Okonko has made it. We have seen that he has earned to himself barns, and he has also married 3 wives, which was an achievement at his time. And also Okonko had washed his hands early enough when he was still a youth that he was able to sit with the elders and eat with them. So these are some of the successes that Okonko has made. And he has made himself a great man. One of the greatness that we can attribute to his life is in the week of peace. Okonko, against all odds, he beats his youngest wife, okay, out of whatever the provocation that he had gone to plait here with the friends, and he took no long to come back at the time that she was required to come back. So he got on into beating her, which was a taboo. One would not be required to be violent in the week of peace. And he goes on to do many things. But one thing that I'm so interested in is to understand that Okonko, from the onset of the book up to the end of the book, he has exhibited strength and he has exhibited greatness. And this is now where I want us to pay more attention and begin to understand him. When he has exhibited greatness and strength, there came one time, when the district commissioner arrested Okonkwo and his friends, and they took them into cells, and he was locked up. The story that is told that when they were released on the day when they were coming back, the women that were using that path, on seeing these men being released, from the cells, they needed not to be told by anyone to give way to these men, because their faces themselves told so many stories of anger and untold, fury, that if at all anyone distracted them on the way, they could kill them. And so when they came back, the district commissioner also sent back the messengers in the community to go and reason with the people. It is at this time when Okonkwo thought that the community was with him, and so he killed one of the chief messengers who were sent by the district commissioner. And that realizing that the messenger was killed, when information reached the district commissioner, when they came back to check on Okonkwo, Okonkwo thought the community was going to support him. He thought that they were going to give him, all the social support and the moral support that he needed. But when community could not react, Okonkwo realized that he was in danger, because the community had withdrawn and they were not ready to fight together with him. And it is at this time that Okonkwo gets to hang himself, and he died. Now the question that I asked this day is there anyone who is great in this world? Is greatness a reality or not? But I know very well that greatness is just a concept that is created in one's mind. There is no one who is great in this world. I'll repeat myself. There is no one who is great in this world. Greatness is a concept that one will create in his mind. And yet, when subjected to real situations, we all realize that there is no one who is great. Just like Okonkwo did hang himself when he was a great man and he had achieved so much greatness. But yet at this point, when he thought that community would fight with him, community could not, and he realized that he was just alone. We must also watch our tendency in life. Okay? When we think that we are making it, and when we think that everyone is in support of us, when we think that, we are so great, and when we think that, we can make it, even using, whatever the means that we can, that sometimes we could be deceiving ourselves, and we must censor our actions. See to it that every direction that we take gives no sense, and we do not just move based on the emotions that we create in ourselves. Okonkwo, he takes the father as a stencil, okay? And he fears to be like the father. The fears that which we have in our life could be the strengths that which could be in us. So we must know and balance between the fears that we have and the strength that we want to create as individuals, so that we remain stable and we achieve the greater success that we may wish to do so. Thank you so much.